Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, we'll be talking about Frank Ntilikina. So I hope the Frank Hive is watching this video because I'll be breaking down his 2021 season for the New York Knicks, go over his strengths, his weaknesses. Does he have a future with the New York Knicks? All those questions will be answered in this video. If you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to smash that subscribe button. And if you want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at NYKnicks_media. And if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right into Frank Ntilikina. So Frank had a very interesting season for the New York Knicks. He did not get a lot of playing time. He really was that situational role off the bench whenever there was an injury to the guard spot. He would come in, he would either come off the bench or he would even start a couple of games. And then in the playoffs, his role was literally like, all right, it's the end of the half. You're guarding him with 15 seconds left in the quarter, or we know what happened in game one. Hey, Tom Thibodeau's like, yo, Frank, you're ice cold off the bench. Can you lock down Trae Young? Because we need him to not score or else he'll win the game. Frank Ntilikina subs in. He gets crossed up. Trae Young wins the game in game one. I was at that game. Very upsetting. But we know what Frank Ntilikina's value is on this Knicks team. It's really just defense, and he actually shot the ball very well from downtown, and he did not get an opportunity to show what he can do, in my opinion, because of the minutes he got. I felt like if the Knicks gave him a more playing time, I felt like we would have got way more of a sample size from Frank Ntilikina. And yeah, I'm going to talk about if he has a future on this Knicks team, what his strengths, his weaknesses are. So let's get right into his 2021 stats for the New York Knicks. So he only played 9.8 minutes per game, averaged 2.7 points per game, 0.9 rebounds, 0.6 assists, shot 44.4% from the field and 48% from the three-point line. So the first thing that jumps out to you is 48% from three. And yes, he did not shoot a lot, but when he did get some playing time and he shot the ball, they were going in almost half the time. So Frank Ntilikina, his biggest knock is, hey, can he shoot the ball consistently? Can he shoot the ball with confidence? And this season, he showed that he could do that. And I'm really curious to see what would have happened if he got, say 20 minutes per game. Say he got, he played every single game. I don't know what would have happened, but obviously Frank's biggest problem is consistency and confidence, and we're going to get into that. But the biggest thing that you take away from these stats is that 48% from downtown. Now let's get into his strengths. The one strength is three-point shooting. No one really thought Frank could become that well of a shooter from downtown. I don't think even I thought he could do that. But 48% from three is definitely something to, tip your caps to Frank. You know that he puts in a lot of work in the offseason. His jump shot looked way smoother this year. He shot with confidence. He shot step-back threes, contested threes, catch-and-shoot opportunities, and he knocked them down at a very high rate. And this entire Knicks team shot the ball well from downtown. It felt like, we were top 5 in the league in three-point shooting as a team, and that just tells you the work that this entire squad put in the offseason and throughout the entire year in practice. Tom Thibodeau's culture really inspired these guys to, fix their jump shot, and Frank was another player to do that. Another thing that I love from Frank, he was always ready. He did not play every single game, but whenever Tom Thibodeau needed him off the bench, he looked like Frank was ready to play. He got subbed in, he played quality defense, and he, shot the ball well. And that's not easy for a young player to just not play. He's that situational guy, that third string player where you do not get consistent minutes, but he stayed ready. He put in the work. He did not hold his head down saying, oh, I'm not part of this team. No one really wants to play me. He can easily be a Debbie Downer, but Frank always stayed ready off the bench, and that's something I definitely wanted to talk about with Frank Ntilikina. And then another strength of his is definitely defense. He's a guy that is naturally, instinctually great on the defensive end. He's just great at perimeter. His length, his size, everything with his defense is something you want with the New York Knicks. And I feel like he would be a perfect guy for Tom Thibodeau to develop over time, but I just don't know if he's going to have a role on this team just because of his lack of confidence on the offensive end and consistency. So that goes right into his, weaknesses in the 2021 season for Frank. The first thing is definitely confidence. He lacks that, fire and desire, as Clyde would say, to be consistently confident on the offensive end. There's some times where he has the ball, he looks scared, he looks afraid, and we definitely don't want to see that in year 4 from Frank, and that's definitely something that he lacked all throughout the season. But there were some times where he got confident. There's little flashes of a confident Frank driving to the rim, dunking on someone, driving to the rim, doing a crazy acrobatic layup, or doing a step-back three, or a nice contested mid-range jump shot, and you're just looking at the TV or you're watching it live, you're like, Frank, Why can't you do that more often? Why is this only once in a blue moon? You got to be confident all the time, but it's hard to be confident when you do not get consistent minutes. And another thing that he did not do well in is consistency. There were some games where he would just look absolutely locked down on defense and play well on offense, and there were some games where he looked absolutely lost to the point where Frank should not get any minutes because he's not doing anything good on the floor. He's not, providing any type of value whatsoever. So why is he on the floor? There were some, games where he did well, some games where he did really bad, and that just comes with consistency. So that definitely was a big problem with Frank's game this season. Another thing that he lacks is aggressiveness. I want to see Frank Ntilikina drive to the rim. I want to see Frank shoot the ball more whenever he's on the floor, and you can connect confidence and aggressiveness together because they kind of go hand in hand. Another thing that he did not do well in is attacking the rim. I feel like whenever Frank goes to the cup and there's a big defender in his face, he gets a little afraid. He does not finish through contact, and he doesn't really have that crafty ability to finish at the rim through contact. That's definitely a big weakness of his. And yeah, that's really his weaknesses. Let's get into Frank Ntilikina's future on the New York Knicks. Do you guys feel like he's going to be here? I don't know. It's a big question. If I'm the Knicks, I honestly sign Frank Ntilikina long term. I know there's a lot of Frank haters out there in the Knicks community. A lot of people think he needs to get way far away as the Knicks, but I just don't understand why we can't re-sign him and have him as a developmental piece for the future. I feel like his value on defense is something great because he has the instinctual ability to be great on defense. I really genuinely believe that. And he also has shown flashes on the offensive side of things that he can be solid. Playmaking is definitely something he needs to improve on, but we don't really need him to play point guard. He did not play point guard at all for us this year. I know he started at the point sometimes, but he was not, taking the ball up. Randall really was most of the time whenever he was on the floor with the starters. But Frank Ntilikina's role on this team is being a situational defensive player, go in there, lock down the best player on the opposing team. I know that he got crossed up in the playoffs, but I'm not, going to hold that over Frank's head. He has shown so much defensive abilities that it's like, his potential is insane. He has that defensive instinctual ability where it's borderline elite, and it's not teachable. You cannot teach a player like Frank to play the defense he does. It's either you have the instinctual ability to play defense at the level he does or you don't, and Frank has that. So if I'm the Knicks, I would like to keep Frank here because I really feel like he has a lot of traits that Tom Thibodeau would love to have on his team. He has a lot of value, but there's going to be a lot of moving parts with the Knicks. I know that he can easily walk in free agency and all that 9 yards. So let me know your thoughts. Do you want Frank here long term, or do you want him away? You don't even want Frank on the Knicks anymore. I know a lot of you guys in the comments will disagree with me, and some of you will agree with me, but that's okay. It's all naturally part of being a YouTuber. I'm used to it. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, do not forget to thumbs it up. Comment down below your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Let's go Knicks. Peace.